Institutions are not buying Bitcoin yet, but they will be very soon. Well, technically there are institutions buying Bitcoin, but it's less than 1% of them. If we go to Bitcoin treasuries, we can see the companies that have added Bitcoin to their balance sheet. And while it's impressive, it's simply not enough for us to see a $100,000 Bitcoin or more. We will need more institutions to jump into the space. And Kevin O'Leary, who is now a big fan of Bitcoin and crypto, has stated that he expects a flood of institutional money into Bitcoin when ESG standards and the concern of Bitcoin's energy use are met. And of course, someone like Kevin O'Leary has a reputation to back. He is the owner of many companies, and maybe he genuinely believes or is concerned about Bitcoin's energy use. But for these other companies, these other institutions, I don't believe they're actually too concerned with Bitcoin's energy use, but they're riding the narrative for now. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what I think is really going on and also how I am handling this situation during these bearish times. Welcome aboard the Bitcoin Express. My name is Chase. Let's get to it. Bitcoin's energy use has been a concern for many years, but it didn't really come into the spotlight until this year when Elon Musk tweeted that Tesla will no longer accept Bitcoin over climate concerns. And when this happened, everyone was in a frenzy. They didn't know what to think about this because Elon Musk has been going back and forth with Bitcoin, right? Does he like it? Does he hate it? And since then, he has stated that even though these concerns might be an issue, that Tesla didn't sell any of their Bitcoin. And also since then, Michael Saylor set up a meeting between Elon Musk and the leading Bitcoin miners in North America. And the miners have agreed to form the Bitcoin Mining Council to promote energy usage transparency. So this is a good thing, right? Also, a side note, a lot of people are very unhappy with this, secret meeting, but this isn't really a secret meeting in the sense of the Federal Reserve getting together to decide the future of money. This is just a side part of Bitcoin. In the end, the Bitcoin ledger is still transparent, and they're not changing the way that Bitcoin works. So yes, this probably isn't the best thing that this is going on behind closed doors, but this isn't changing the core of Bitcoin, what makes Bitcoin so valuable. Now, when it comes to companies like Tesla or maybe Kevin O'Leary, they might have a reputation that they have to keep up, right? Tesla, as they have stated so far, they're not anti-Bitcoin, but right now we see they're trying to work towards a cleaner energy use for Bitcoin. But these other companies, I think they're just riding the narrative for now, right? It's a great time for them to buy if the rest of the world is, following this narrative that institutions aren't getting into Bitcoin until the energy use issue is fixed. And when it comes to Tesla, here's my little conspiracy. I do think that Elon Musk and Tesla are preparing for down the road, maybe 5-10 years from now, to introduce a energy efficient, clean energy Bitcoin miner. So that's my little conspiracy take. We'll see how it plays out over the years. But when it comes to Bitcoin's energy use, no matter how much we advance, as this article states, crypto pioneer Nick Spanos warns, Bitcoin will never be green enough for some. And this is probably true for the companies that genuinely care, right? Bitcoin will never be green enough. But for most institutions, I believe they don't really genuinely care about Bitcoin's energy use, but they ride the narrative because it is good for them. Because these companies, they don't want to buy Bitcoin at 60K or 50K or 40K, possibly not even at 30K. They want it lower. And as long as this narrative is in this space, it will have to do with Bitcoin's price, probably keeping Bitcoin on the lower end and a great entry point for real money, for the billions and eventually trillions that will enter the space. Billionaire Icahn stated that his firm is eyeing a potential $1.5 billion crypto investment. And this news came out. He stated this after Bitcoin had its 50% crash, right? He wasn't saying this at the top. Big money is not in a rush. They don't chase after opportunities. They wait for the opportunities to come to them. Icahn wasn't speaking about buying Bitcoin at 60,000, 64,000. He's speaking about it now at around 30, 35,000. And other institutions as well, they're not in a rush. Maybe we'll be in these bearish times for a week, maybe 2 months, maybe 2 years. But whatever it is, it's going to work for these institutions. We also found out that Ray Dalio has stated that he owns some Bitcoin. Same thing, guys like Ray Dalio, they're not buying Bitcoin at 60, 50,000. And it's not really the price that they're not buying it at, but they're not going to buy something after it had a crazy run up percentage-wise. They're going to wait for it to come back, because in Bitcoin and crypto, as we know, it always comes back, right? It's very volatile, but volatile in an upward trend. Right now, this year has been extremely bullish in terms of institutions getting into the space, and they're kind of keeping it under the radar, right? You don't see these companies coming out saying, Bitcoin is the best thing, it's the future, but we're starting to see that these institutions have their eye on Bitcoin. And like I said, once again, they're not buying it at 60 or 50K. They're gonna wait for the opportunity to come to them. Also, Wells Fargo is going to offer a crypto fund to their rich clients. Notice, it's to their rich and wealthy clients. This won't be available to the average customer at Wells Fargo. And the worst of them all, guys, JP Morgan. And because crypto is not regulated, right, there's more wiggle room for these companies to come out and kind of say whatever they want about crypto. They were saying that Bitcoin could rise up to $146,000 long term as it competes with gold. Its value could triple, challenging gold. And now JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon warns investors not to buy crypto and calls for clear rules around trading it. And also, they have stated that big institutional investors are dumping Bitcoin and going back into gold. And at this point, we cannot trust what JP Morgan says. Recently, they were fined $920 million for manipulating precious metals. And I have this list in front of me, I'll leave a link down below, of JP Morgan's fines to date. They have been fined billions of dollars for manipulating markets. And we're seeing the same thing here with Bitcoin and crypto. They're gonna offer these funds like Wells Fargo or possibly JP Morgan to their wealthy clients. Big money is patient. They're not buying it at the top. They're gonna wait for it to come to them. And now BlackRock, the world's largest asset management fund, is studying crypto, which could someday play a role akin to gold. Big money is buying Bitcoin. They understand it is very volatile, but volatile in an upward trend. And right now, guys, we're in these very bearish times. So how am I handling the situation? I'm handling it the same way that I have for the past 4 years. Dollar cost average, keep calm, and don't over leverage myself. When we look at the institutions, we can mimic what they are doing. They're not chasing the highs. They're waiting for things to come to them. It's a long-term game, guys. The biggest misconception is that you get into crypto and you can make money overnight. While it's possible, it's unlikely. To make money very quickly, you have to get into very risky coins, and most of the time you're actually gonna lose that money. But when it comes to making money, even outside of crypto, it takes time. It's not gonna take half a year. It's not gonna take 1 year. Right now, when we're looking at Bitcoin, these companies, BlackRock, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Icahn, they're not thinking, oh, I'm gonna buy Bitcoin and then I'm gonna trade it 2-3 months later. They're buying Bitcoin for a longer term, guys. Do not chase the market, wait for it to come to you. Keep calm, dollar cost average. And I recently made a video about 3 lies you have been told about crypto. So make sure to go ahead and watch that right now, link right above. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.